Recently, I just had my matriculation ceremony, and it was such an exhilarating moment for me. But at the same time, it was also frustrating. The day was very exciting. A lot of people came, and it was very thrilling because I marked a new milestone and a new phase in my life. So I was really excited for the day in a way. But I made it really count. Then I decided to go back home after the whole day to stay committed to my 90 days challenge of Figma because I started learning UI UX using Figma recently. So I've been watching a lot of videos lately, watching on how to learn the basics of Figma, how to go about Figma, how to know how to lay out and the likes. And then I decided that okay, I've been doing a lot of learning, a lot of watching of videos. So let me like transition into the practice segment. Then I decided to practice Figma. It started well. I was able to like bring out the frame. I made use of the frame tool. I was able to create a logo. And then I got to the part where the YouTube video I was watching made use of the pen tool. And I was like, pen tool? I think something that should be easy. I use a pen on the normal day. So I thought, okay, pen tool should not be as far as like from a pen that we normally use. So I clicked on the pen tool and then I started using it. Then I was having a lot of issues using the pen tool. Like I spent minutes trying to use the pen tool. I was already feeling frustrated and like I was just like, this shouldn't be that hard. It's just a pen tool. I didn't know that although I've been learning, but there was like a difference in practicing. Because when I watched the video at first, when the guy used the pen tool, I was like, this part is an easy aspect, so I could just like do it in a snip of a finger and that's the end. Then I decided to try mine. I spent like minutes trying to work towards it and still I wasn't able to get it. I had to watch YouTube videos on how to use the pen tool and still I wasn't getting it. And then I realized that watching and learning is not the same as doing because sometimes you may think you're watching a video, you're learning something online, but if you don't practice, you won't know if you actually understand it. So me at that moment when I was watching it, I felt like, oh, I already knew a whole lot about this thing, so I could just practice and get it. But I didn't know that it had a bigger plan for me. So most times when we are watching a video, we think that we are actually learning. Yeah, you're learning, but until you put it to practice, you won't know if you understand what you're learning. So always ensure that whenever you're learning something, always practice too because you can't just always rely on the knowledge you are getting. You also have to put it to practice to ensure if you're actually good at what you do. So I eventually got to know how to use the pen tool and I'm so excited about that, although it was a frustrating experience because I had to commit even on my matriculation day. It was a milestone for me. I should have just rested on that day, but like nah, I gotta commit to my commitment. So I decided to commit on that day and I felt frustrated, but though I hit a milestone in my matriculation and also I was able to grow through the experience of the pen tool because it made me stretch on that day. Like I made sure I learned it. If I didn't learn it, I didn't leave it too. It made me know that okay, yeah, I may have learned it, but now it's time for me to understand how it is used. So always ensure that if you're learning something new, if you're trying to learn a new skill or whatever you're learning, just ensure you practice, put it to practice. You can't always rely on the knowledge you get, always put it to practice. That will set you apart to know if you have actually learned and understood what you're learning. And I will admonish you follow me on this journey because I'm going to be documenting my journey on Figma and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.